Good afternoon, everybody. David Harridan here from Web Seminar Productions. Thank you very much for being with us today. We're looking forward to a great program thanks to the efforts of Laura Hatch, who's the editor of our Flexo Global e-newsletter, as well as our good friend John Anderson from Kodak. Let me turn it over to Laura to provide an introduction for John and a welcome for today's program.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Flexo Global's first webinar. Flexo Global was launched in 2007 as a small operation and now reaches out to over 7,000 Flexo professionals around the world. I'm excited to see that over 20 countries are represented here today at this first ever webinar. I met Dr. John Anderson, our speaker today, about 7 years ago and had the pleasure of working with him at the FTA. I've always been impressed with his technical knowledge of multiple print processes and how they can work together to produce the best product possible for the customer, and for his passion for the packaging industry in general. In 2007, John joined Kodak and became part of a dynamic team promoting Kodak's new Flexcel NX system, which is what you're all here to learn about. I'd like to turn the program over now to Dr. John.
Good afternoon. My name is John Anderson from Eastman Kodak, and I'm here to talk to you about the Flexcel NX system. We're specifically going to talk today about the business and how it will help your business, along with some of the technical details that go behind it. We're looking to grow your business and to grow the Flexo industry as a whole, allowing innovation to be the lead point to allow technology and the capabilities to optimize what you can do in production, increasing your profitability and your capabilities. Kodak offers the widest range of solutions in the packaging industry. We go all the way from business services and consultancy to collaboration from the brand owners, from the designers, to the trade shops and the bureaus. We have the production workflow with rules-based automation and other advanced technologies to minimize the amount of effort involved in touching and retouching the files for Flexo. We have proofing solutions like the approval to give you differentiation, proofing on the final substrate that you want so you can get a trusted proof that will allow printers to print and need less press site approvals. Then we go to the offset, where we are the leading supplier in the folding carton industry for packaging. We're the leading supplier in the packaging offset industry, and into Flexo, where Kodak offers the most innovative and complete portfolio of solutions. We offer the consumables for both offset, Flexo, and digital solutions. And we really do give you a solution that goes from concept all the way to the shelf, including brand protection and other innovative technologies that will allow the industry to survive and go forward, with service and support coming from Kodak from one end to the other of the process. Now we'll look at the Flexo solutions in particular. We'll start with the digital Flexo plates. The Flexcel NX is a unique solution with Kodak. We have analog in the form of the SR family, with the SRH, which is a hard plate, the M, which is a medium, and the C, which is a corrugated plate. We also offer the SRV, which is a varnish or coating plate used on offset plate presses. All of the plate solutions have flat dot solutions that give you optimum press performance and allow interchangeability for cost and production reasons. Washout Solutions, we have the unique solutions of Flexcel XP, LO, and unique to the NX solution is the LO-NX with a third less drying time and a faster processing for even better environmental results. We have thermal recording films, particularly the DITR 4401, which is a dry ablative film imaged in the thermal imager. It does not involve silver halide chemistry. It is a single solution that allows you to image and be used straight away, and is applicable for screen, for analog offset, and also some forms of letterpress. Half-tone digital proofing is provided by the Approval NX solution. It allows you to do digital proofing on the final substrate, whether surface or repeat, in the print sequence that you want as a dot proof, and allows, with new technology and new advancements coming later this year, to give you even greater prediction of some of the issues that you will see in traditional Flexo. CTP systems, we have the Flexcel NX system. We have that for narrow and mid. From end of Q1 next year, we will also have the wide solution. We have the Flexcel Direct system coming, a direct engraving solution for continuous and in-the-round solutions, as well as a non-process solution. We also have the SRX system, which uses the NX imager in combination with the SR plates and the DITR film to give you the next generation analog plate solution, allowing you to advance Flexo in a range of different ways. And finally, we have the workflow and screening. We start with a Prinergy Power Pack, a complete solution with rules-based automation and all different solutions to allow you to go through the whole pre-press process. We have DigiCap NX screening, which has recently won the Intertech Award for innovation. We have Staccato or FM screening, and we have HyperFlex and Maxstone. These together give you the biggest portfolio of Flexo solutions in one place and a unique position for Kodak to be able to supply you with a whole system as you need. Focusing now on the NX system, we're looking for ways that innovation can grow the business. We're looking at ways that we can ensure that the Flexo industry grows and continues to grow. We're looking for ways to expand the business for trade owners, for trade shops to utilize the new technology, for printers to gain benefit. Whenever we use the NX system, most printers and operators can tell straight away that the NX plate is a game-changing solution. We're looking for ways to improve that. We're looking for a 10-minute trial, a simple trial to allow you to benchmark the plate. Often will show it's not just another plate. It is a change in system. It's a change in technology, and when combined with the recent Intertech winning DigiCap NX, it changes the ink transfer to really give Flexo new opportunities. And the highest compliment that we receive as Kodak is it does what we say it does. It's not we don't have to market it, we don't have to hype it. It's a product that really does all that it's supposed to do. So let's take a look at the exact NX solution, what it can do for your business. Let's start with reducing material usage. These days, I read yesterday and read this week about the prices of materials going up. We have reduced waste reductions. If you have a job, then it's going to be 1 million impressions, it's 1 million impressions. 5,000 impressions, it's 5,000 impressions. Where Flexo industry can really gain and really get benefits is in the make-ready. How do you reduce the amount of make-ready waste? How do you get the costs of the job down? As we see ink costs, substrate costs, all these costs rising very quickly at the moment due to supply chain and other issues, we're looking at ways to reduce that cost. Typical feedback from the users of the NX solution is they see make-ready waste dropping by 25% as normal. So that's less ink, that's less plates, that's less setup time. That's the color matching is much more easy. It all comes in together due to the flat top dot structure, so we end up with less waste. We also see less plates. As a plate company, that's an unusual message. But we want you to use less plates in the Flexo industry. We want you to use less colors. We want you to use less sets of plates on long runs. We want you to continue. And typically we see a 2 to 5 times longer plate life than traditional digital plates when on a like-for-like separation. We're using less colors, more combination plates. We want you to stop separating your blacks into a process or a tone and then a solid. We want the solid and the tone together. That gives you one less plate, but one less set of inks to set up and less time in pre-press. So it makes life much easier for everybody. And we want to increase the use of plates, so trying to find a solution that will do everything for everyone. Now, we do allow you to improve print resolution. The NX system is capable of 300 lines per inch at 0.4 to 100% toner range, so full toner range even at 300 lines per inch. But you don't have to increase resolution with the NX system because you get the better toner range. Even at the same resolution, your print will be better. You get sharper, cleaner print. But if you want to, you can now take your level of printing up with optimization, often 2 or 3 levels higher, so 150 to 200 lines per inch, or 175 to 240. It's often something that people will do. And by decreasing the number of decks and increasing the use of process printing, we simplify the process of color matching as well. So you're not chasing 7 colors, you're often chasing 4, which makes life a lot easier on press. What does that do for you? It increases your press availability. Press time is when any printer makes money. Any other time, you're not really making as much money as you need. So you're looking for faster setups. You're looking for fewer stops. And how does that give you? That gives you greater time to sell, more hours to sell on your press. We also regularly see that the presses will run faster with an NX plate. It gives you that flat top stability. It doesn't change and vary the same as you can with traditional digital as you change speed. So you can run the press faster and gain more time, so the jobs will be through faster, giving you more time to add jobs to your press. Typically, we see as a customer starts up with NX system, they use about 70% of the plates that they would normally use, maybe even less. And that equates also to saleable press time. So as they build up their inventory, they build up the number of plates they use, they're also building the number of jobs through with higher margins and higher profitability for the overall company. What does that do? We're allowing you to drive higher profitability. Increasing the resolution allows you to add more variety to your work, allows you to add higher value work. If your customers will pay for it, then that's great. If they won't, then it gives you an opportunity to find new customers and new opportunities to convert work from other processes. It decreases the material usage, fewer decks, fewer plates, fewer inks, fewer tapes. Reducing one plate allows you to reduce the tape, the ink, the mounting time, the setup time, the doctor blades. So it's not just the plate, it's the whole system as a whole. And reducing those costs increase your profitability. And it allows you to sell more hours of production. Press time becomes more available, and that allows you to reduce your overall costs or increase your profitability. Sustainability. Kodak takes a different position to the traditional position in the Flexo industry. In Label Expo next week, we should publish a paper giving Kodak's position clearly. This is a subject that could be a webinar easily on its own. What we're looking at with Kodak is we look at the bigger picture. We have a plate system that changes the performance on press. It's not the same as all the other plates in the market. And that allows us to focus on the press. It allows us to focus on print production. And that is really where we need to as a Flexo industry, because that's the make or break for a business. The plate system should be the best possible plate system to give you the maximum sustainable impact on press. Reducing the substrate, reducing the waste, using fewer plates. Faster make ready makes that much easier, but plus fewer stoppages, easier plate cleaning, and reducing the ink and substrate waste. Plates that are fast to color allow you to change jobs quickly, the consistency allows you to use more process printing, allowing you to keep the same inks in the press and just change the plates and start again. That all impacts the sustainability of the job overall. So we will produce that paper next week, and we look forward to discussing that with you. But where do you get the money or where do you find the money to grow your business? Well, the one place that most people don't look, and they should be looking first, is in the press room. When you look at the press, that is the piece of equipment that allows you to make money. When printers only make money when they're producing a product they can sell. So by reducing the time that they're not producing a product that they can sell, you increase the profitability, you increase the ability to pay for a new system or to use the new technology. Fewer decks, fewer plates, all of those things I've already discussed, less stops, allow you to gain time, allow you to gain profitability that will allow you to go through the process of paying for systems, or allow you to pay for a higher cost plate. If you're using less plates, then the cost of the plate is a little higher, then overall you're still saving money. So it saves you a lot of time. Plus, when you only have to mount 4 instead of 6, you save the extra money on the tapes and the time. So overall costs are reduced. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about the technology behind the system. So we're going to look at some of the technical details. The NX system is Kodak's award-winning flagship product. It's unique at the moment. It has one of the few products that has 2 Intertech stars. It's one of those. It's won the FTA Innovation Award, the Flexo Pre-Press Plate Makers Association for Innovation Award. It is a highly innovative solution and continues to innovate. It looks at the market in a different way. It addresses Flexo in a way that we're looking to, how do we solve the problems for the Flexo printers today? How do we make the trade shops' lives easier? How do we simplify the process? It's all down to simplification and also consistency. We address the key limitations of Flexo, which are consistency, repeatability. Buyers love our work but never always know what they're going to get. So we're trying to make it stable. We're trying to make it a way that everything is good. We're looking to improve visual impact and stability, reduce the cost of waste. So it looks at it in a different way. And it comes as a complete solution. It's not, I use a piece of this, I use a piece of that and put it together. It's a complete solution because that's the way to guarantee performance. Anywhere in the United States, in Argentina, in Europe, it's the same system in every place, so you can go between different sites with great confidence. It comes with a thermal imaging device and a front end. There's a thermal imaging layer, which is a film that we image in the Trendsetter NX or the coming wide version. We have plates that the TIL, the thermal imaging layer, is laminated to, and then we have a densitometer. So every system even has the same measurement device to ensure consistency site to site globally. There are 5 basic steps to the plate making process. You start with imaging the Flexcel NX thermal imaging layer in the Trendsetter NX or the Magnus VLF, which is going to be the wide solution. Laminate the imaged layer on the Flexcel NX plate. The laminator is built very specially to allow the system to laminate without the risk of dust. The plate is protected to the very last moment. The cover sheet stays onto the plate until it's going through the lamination process. There is a roller in the head that also cleans the thermal imaging layer on the emulsion side to make sure that any dust, if it's been laid down and picked up, is removed. The dust is not an issue with the lamination process. You then take it to exposure and do a back and face exposure to give you the exposure time. If you're doing a 10 micron spot size, then the exposure time is longer. If you're doing a 20 micron, as we use with wide web flexible packaging, then we'll go through the process. Then you'll have a normal exposure time. Simply remove then the Flexcel NX plate by taking it back to the laminator, laying its thermal imaging layers side down, turn the vacuum on, and then peel the plate away. It's a very simple, very quick process. The steps of the process are typical mid system, which is a 31.5 by 42 inch plate. Takes 6 minutes to image, 90 seconds to laminate. It then takes between 12 and 18 minutes for main exposure. Delamination takes about a minute, and then it goes through a standard solvent processing process. So with an NX-only solution running Flexcel LONX washout solution, the drying time is about 75 minutes. If they're using a normal solvent or a different solvent, then it's normally about 2 hours. So drying is still the longest step of the process. When we use the Flexcel NX technology, where we have the stability and repeatability, one of the things that Kodak went back to was we take an existing imaging technology and we look at how we can use it. We take the standard imaging technology from the offset industry, we take the square spot technology with the Trendsetter NX, and we've applied that to Flexo. We've separated the imaging from the plate so we can optimize the imaging. That allows us to use the square spot technology to give you a 1-to-1-to-1 reproduction from the digital pixels on the file to the thermal imaging layer to the plate. That allows you to get unique structure of pixel to pixel all the way through. The flat top dot structure allows you the repeatability and consistency on press. It gives you stability, operator latitude. The operators find it much easier to use the plates because they're not sensitive to impression. It allows higher speeds. It allows more consistency. It also allows longer plate life. A typical digital Flexo plate has a rounded top. In the tonal range, it gives you sensitivity to impression. The Flexcel NX solution is a flat top dot solution with very regular, very consistent dots. There's a lot of effort within the Flexo industry to produce now flat top dot solutions following the technology of NX. And the NX has proven itself to be giving you the stability and the capabilities that we need. One of the things that we now see is the industry, although they are trying to do flat top dot structure, it still will not do what the NX system will do. It will not give you pixel for pixel reproduction from the digital file to the plate. So you still have variability. What the pixel for pixel all the way allows you to do is they also improve your proofing ability because the file that you proof with is also the file that you're making a plate with. So repeatability, consistency, and predictability are much stronger. And what are the benefits? It allows you to raise your standards and predictability. You can put the jobs on again and again and see the same results. It allows you to tackle more difficult, more challenging work. You get the consistency on shift, run to run and shift to shift. We regularly see on trials that they will take the least experienced operator with the most challenging job that they've given us and see how long it takes them to set it up. And it's much easier, much simpler to set up. You have the flat top structure means when you have multiples up, they all come in together. So you don't have a variation throughout the job where some are lighter and some are darker because of the plate system. You also have shorter press downtime because it's easier to go through and less cleaning. And a faster setup through the stability of the plate, but also we tend to use less plates, so that saves you time. Now the Flexo industry is trying to grow, and one of the areas that Flexo is trying to grow is to take on the gravure industry. Flexible packaging is a key area where gravure is by far the strongest process over the years, the highest capabilities and the highest consistency. It has always been the target to match gravure for Flexo. When I was with the FTA, we often talked about Flexo matching gravure. Well, the three areas that Flexo always struggled a little was resolution because of the capabilities on flexible packaging. Gravure was always a higher resolution, typically between 175 and 200 lines per inch. Consistency because of the plate, because of the structure, and because of the gravure cylinder. Gravure always had the higher consistency. And the third part was printed densities. Well, now we can match all three of these with a Flexcel NX system with the DigiCap NX screening. As the industry goes to shorter and shorter runs, Flexor really does suit much more than gravure. But some buyers are still pushing back to gravure, or they were pushing back to gravure, because they were frustrated with consistency. What we now see is, with the longer plate life, typically 2 to 5 times longer, you can take on long runs and the job will be much more consistent. You don't have the spike and the drop in quality and then a spike again as you put a new set of plates on. You use less combo plates, so it becomes simpler to do. You don't have to compromise between minimum impression for the dots and maximum impression for the solids. You can have the same on the same plate and not suffer the loss of quality. Reducing plate tape ink costs. The Flexcel NX system tends to use one tape throughout a job. We don't separate different tapes, softer tapes for the process work and harder tapes for the solids. We use the same tape for all, so it simplifies setup. It simplifies production. It also reduces costs by reducing the number of decks and plates to set up. The DigiCap NX is allowing you to do this by changing the surface of the plate. You can see here a typical 70%. The top left-hand image has no surface texturization. The bottom left has traditional plate cell patterning or DigiCap applied. This is where you apply small holes into the surface of the plate to try and carry more ink. It was always done to try and increase the density, to try and get the density closer to that of traditional gravure application. With the DigiCap NX, we texturize the surface with a 10 by 5 micron area surrounded by an open area that carries ink. That allows the ink to be transferred much more evenly and much more consistently to the surface of the plate. It allows the press to not suffer ink starvation but also speed up, and we regularly see presses now running faster than they traditionally do. What we really see is what it does to the density and what it does to the ink results. Traditionally, Flexo prints quite a lot of ink, but the holes and the voids in it, as you see on the left hand with the traditional digital Flexo, leaves you with a much lower density and much lower quality of print, and visually not the same effect as you have with a gravure type application. The one on the right is the same press, same ink, same analog, same substrate, printed in Lima, Peru. They were printed one after the other. One is a traditional digital on the left, and then you have the NX with the DigiCap NX on the right. What's interesting about this is the density is about 0.4 higher, but you're actually using a little less ink. Typically, we see the same amount of ink or up to 9% less. So we're seeing jumps in increase in density without increasing the cost of ink and often saving costs on ink. Labels. Labels, one of the markets that we will see with Label Expo coming up next week is the growth of the digital printing into label. Flexo is under attack both from offset and from digital printing. We need to change the market and change the position. Traditionally, with digital printing, it can outprint a Flexo. The resolution, the capability, the tonal range allows digital to give you higher quality. One of the problems that digital printers have is that when they change from a short-run digital to a long-run Flexo, they need a considerable amount of retouching in the pre-press for Flexo. It causes costs, it causes difficulty, but often it causes a mismatch in the print. So the digital print looks a lot better than the Flexo, and that can cause the jobs to be rejected, which makes Flexo even more expensive. Plus, they usually have to go back then and reprint the job digitally, which pushes the costs to the printers. The Flexcel NX system allows you to print at 300 lines per inch using the UV inks on coated or uncoated stock. So you can produce very high quality work. The labels shown here were produced by Labeltronics out in California. They were award-winning labels in the 2009 awards. This year, the Labeltronics won the most awards in label printing for the FTA as well. It's something that shows that the quality today, they can match and better the digital printing, the indigo or other technology, and allows Flexor to take market share back. We can do anything that the digital printing can do, and we can also do it cost-effectively day in, day out. So we've looked at gravure, we've looked at digital, so let's move on to offset. What can we do to make offset change? One of the technologies that traditionally has only been possible with on significant runs with offset is lenticular. Lenticular is a highly high-cost process to give you a very high shelf impact product, or a product that is used often for short runs or promotional work because of the cost. Now, using Flexo, we can do, and the Flexcel NX system, we can do lenticular using Flexo, using web-fed system. It reduces the cost significantly, often 50% of the cost of a traditional offset lenticular label. We can do 3D imaging, we can do movement. So we can do a lot of things now to give Flexo different options to gain shelf impact. Lenticular uses a form of FM screening with a 10 by 30 micron line. So it's only the NX system can actually do lenticular and give you the type of results that you're looking for with Flexo. FM screening is an area that Flexo industry is looking at very closely, because as we go up more and more in expanded color gamut, expanded process printing, when we're using more than 4 process colors, when with 5, 6, 7 colors, it's very easy to hit problems like moire. It's very difficult to do the separations. It's becoming more complicated. FM screening allows you to do this. There's no angles. There's no set pattern. So you don't have the risk of moire. You don't have those issues. It also allows you a wider tonal range and stronger color gamut. So there are great benefits with FM screening. But traditionally with Flexo, the rounded dot structure means that you can't do FM screening because the dot gain, especially in the midtones, is too high. So you lose all the quarter tone, three-quarter tone, all the way through to the solids. It becomes one. So the Flexcel NX system, with its flat top dot structure and one-to-one reproduction, allows Flexo to now do FM screening. And some of the examples here, you obviously have lenticular. You have an example here using 10 micron FM. That is very unusual. 20 micron FM is very common. One of the areas that's very common is in folding carton. This is an area that packaging is dominated by offset. Kodak is the largest supplier into the folding carton market for offset. For the offset plates, we have a very strong position in this market, but we're also looking to convert more and more work to Flexo. The reel-to-reel or reel-to-finish product is a great advantage for the folding carton, for the short run, for the high value-added work. And typically these applications use FM screening for quality, for consistency, for image reproduction. What you have with this image is a 4-color process job produced out of Canada. It's a great example of what you can do with Flexo today with high-quality, high-resolution images, but that 8-color press is now being used in a different way. It's used for the 4-color process, but instead of having 7-color, which that job would normally demand, and one varnish or one finish available, it uses 4-color process plus 4 different finishes, significantly increasing the shelf impact, increasing the effect for the customer, adding effects that mean it's a stopping power. It's a freedom for the designer to design things to give more shelf impact. The brand awareness is stronger because you're using the same separation for offset as you use for Flexo. It's the same 4-color process. It's the same screening technology. Flexor allows you to reduce the substrate costs because it's a reel fed rather than a sheet fed process, so it allows you to take costs out of the substrate. It also allows you to simplify the setup. It's, for Flexo folding cartons also you have less time, less work in progress because you start with a reel of material, you end the press with a finished product. You have no offline die cutting or no offline value-added process as well. A typical job like this will typically reduce the cost by about 30% overall Flexo over offset. So it gives a marketing advantage, it gives a different differentiation on the shelf advantage, but it also allows you to reduce costs and improve your sustainability. One of the areas that is very strong at the moment and where people are looking for more and more is covert security. How can I put brand security? How can I put things into a design, into a package, into a folding carton that will allow me to add security, add capabilities that the customer doesn't know is there? Pharmaceuticals is an area, tobacco, different applications for this sort of technology. So just looking at the side panel of that carton that you just saw, they're very easy to hide in their different areas, but this one was made to be obvious. 0.5, 0.8 text on folding carton, a box around the ingredients box, information around the different places. We have folding carton, we have flexible packaging where they put 1-point text above a door of a building, so it looks like it's the name above the door of the building, but it includes security information that when they're looking to check it's their product in the future, when they want to know that where the product was produced for traceability, they can put that information into the plates and into the print where the end customer doesn't see it. So a typical application is the pharmaceuticals, the vitamins, the tobaccos, but it's expanding to more day-to-day products for allowing them to trace the jobs, or more easy to trace the jobs and where they were produced. Then we're looking at creating new Flexo markets. Where else can we go? Your imagination is your limitation many times in Flexo. What can we do? How do we do it? An example is the Flexo magazine from May. The FTA kindly allowed us to print the Flexo magazine cover. It was produced in Canada on a Flexo press. The great thing for this is it's a 10-color job, but it's all printed on the inside of the cover. So the film acts as a protection. So for applications like coffee magazines or coffee table magazines that are going to be around for 6 months, it's a huge protection addition. This is printed 4 colors, 20 micron FM screening on the inside, then 2 whites, and then 4 color, 200 lines per inch on the inner cover. So it allows you to show the technology, what we can do, and how we, as an industry, are not limited by our technology anymore. We can do anything that any other process can do. Working in Kodak, I see a lot of high-quality offset work, a high-quality digital work. We work in all areas for commercial, for publication, for packaging, and I see everything coming out of the Flexo industry that really challenges the perception that Flexo is anything but one of the highest quality and highest capability processes around. With the Flexcel NX system, you know what you're going to get. It's a proven success. Flexcel NX was launched in Drupa 2008, so it's been around more than 2 years. It's won the FTA's Innovation Award, the Intertech Award. Now DigiCap NX has won the Intertech Award. It continues to innovate, but it's a proven success. It's efficient, it's improved, it's improving productivity. It reduces your costs to increase your stability. It gives you the repeatability that the brand owners are looking for. They love Flexo, but they need it to be consistent, and that's what we're making it. And that's all achieved through the predictability and consistency of plate making, but it's not one step in the process. It's a combination of the imaging technology, the square spot, the one-to-one from the digital file. It's the capabilities of the thermal imaging layer capable of 800 lines per inch. It's the lamination process to eliminate oxygen from the process so you get the flat top dot structure. And then it's the flat top dot structure on press that gives you the repeatability and consistency that you're looking for. flat top dots alone are not necessarily what you're looking for. Contact, if you would like to know more, you would like to take the Kodak challenge, which we challenge you to test any job that you have problems with today, or jobs that you know that will challenge you or cause you issues on press. We'll happily make plates for you and show you that the Flexcel NX system will make life simpler for you and potentially will save you costs and money. So I'm very happy if you would like to contact me after this webinar, and I will put you in contact with a local Flexo specialist wherever you are. We have people on this call from New Zealand to England to Argentina. So wherever you are, we will find the right contact and allow you to go together. We'll have more information available. If you would like to know more, we can send you more information on the Flexcel NX system, how it works, the different components, all of those different pieces. Then I recommend you run a single color fingerprint test. All of our trials, all of our customers start with a single color fingerprint test on the cyan to allow you to get an idea of what the capabilities of the system are, to see how simple it is to set up, but also to give us the 50% dot gain compensation to allow you to optimize for your test job, and then upload a challenging job, and we will then plate it for you and send it to you. For the best results, allow us to send our Flexo plate application specialist along so we can run that job with you and see that job and help you understand the benefits and see the true benefits of what you're seeing. Alternatively, come visit us in Label Expo next week. The wonderful city of Chicago is waiting for the Flexo industry to join. This is a show that is visited by a lot of people, not just the label industry, because the label industry tends to be the narrow web, and that's where a lot of the innovation comes from. A lot of the early stuff for Flexo comes through the narrow web. We'll be at booth 5319. Very welcome to see you. We will have the Flexcel NX system on the booth. We will be able to do live demonstrations. A lot of people have questions about the lamination. That is something that a lot has been said over the years since it was introduced. Come and see for yourself. Most people, almost everybody, says it's nothing like what I expected. It's much simpler, much easier than I expected. So come see for yourself. Come and have a look what the cold lamination system does. Show hours are 10 to 5. And if you have a few hours to spare, we have an event on the Wednesday evening at Label Expo. It's 5 to 7 in the Stevens Convention Center. We invite you to register and come and have a look and see what we can do and talk to us. I'll be there, my colleagues will be there, so we can all talk, have a drink, and see how Kodak can help you grow your business and how we can help you do more with what you have. I want to welcome also a friend from Peru on the line as well. So we have people from all over the world here today. If you have any questions, that is the end of my presentation, so I will happily take questions now and look forward to hearing from you and working with you to see how Kodak can improve your business and how Kodak can help you and the Flexo industry grow together. Thank you.
Well, John, thank you very much. Really appreciate that outstanding presentation. I appreciate the detail that you went into as well. So if you do have any questions for us today, please feel free to go ahead and chat those in, and we'll be sure to address them. I think several of you did, in fact, submit questions prior to the end of John's presentation. So let's go ahead and just try this. We can dive into those just here for a second. John, first question is, how has the growth of the NX been in 2010?
The NX system has grown significantly globally. It has varied by the different regions. North America has, obviously because of the economy, been a little slower than we would like, but has grown significantly. Through the rest, especially through Latin America, through Asia, and through Europe, we've managed to more than double the number of installations now as compared to the start of the year. So it's growing significantly, and it's continuing to accelerate, especially with the introduction of the wide system coming now in the next few months. I'm actually sitting in Minnesota. I was using the wide system yesterday. So it's on its way, and it's looking very good. So we're ready to start to take those orders as well. So we've seen huge growth in the last year.
Oh, good. Good for you guys. So a lot of hard work, I'm sure, went into that. What are the typical resolutions that clients are running with in wide flexible packaging?
What we're typically seeing as we go and visit these customers and see what's happening is a wide web flexible customer will be between 100 and 133 lines per inch today. What we do see people doing is going up in about 2 levels without significant changes to their analogs or their equipment. So 100 to 120 or 133. If they run 133, they may go to 150 or 175. When you go to 175, you often do need to look at the analogs, as you do need to look at the inks to optimize them to make sure they're correct. What we are seeing is some customers are staying at the existing resolution. One that jumps to mind, they stayed at 120 lines per inch and are enjoying 5 times longer plate life on their runs and higher production speeds. So they're enjoying not just the high resolution, but also using the existing and the tonal range gains and the productivity gains to improve their business. They're also allowing customers doing the wide web flexible packaging to run more in lanes. So it's because of the predictability and the consistency of the plates, you can now mix jobs much more easily. So instead of having one short-running job that is a loss maker because you have the long-running jobs for a customer, you can now run the long-running and the short-running jobs profitably by running the short runs 4 different jobs in a lane, so it's 4 times the length of run. So there's a lot of benefits in a lot of different areas with the wide web flexible packaging. It's not just resolution.
Got it. Okay, great. Do we need special analogs and ink systems to run NX?
It's a little bit as I just described with the wide web flexible packaging. You can change, you can run with the existing analogs as you can with the existing inks, but you will be limited on how much you can change in resolution or how high you can go. So you can print better than you do today with the existing equipment. If you do choose to go up in resolution or you do choose to go significantly into different capabilities, then we can help with the analog selection. We have as a standard throughout most of the Americas that the wide web flexible packaging printers that choose to go up are running about 1,000 2.0 on the analogs, which is a lower volume analogs than they typically run. What we normally see is about 1,000 2.5 in the market. The NX plate transfers the ink so well, especially with the DigiCap NX, that you don't need such high volume. That allows the plates to stay cleaner, the more optimum operation. It also, because of the way we transfer the ink with the analogs, allows a lower pigment level on a lot of the inks. A lot of Flexo inks are over-pigmented or at the maximum pigment levels they can carry, and that doesn't help the ink transfer, it doesn't help the analogs. So by reducing being able to work with the ink companies as well, and looking at the overall system, you can actually reduce the costs on the ink and produce a better ink transfer as you go forward.
Okay, very good. Let's see, next question, when will the wide NX system be available?
The wide is due for commercialization at the end of Q1. The alpha unit is already in the field, and we are getting ready to deliver the beta unit. So it's moving very quickly. It's a very easy process in some ways because they're going to existing customers that already know the benefits of NX, and then we're expanding to others. So basically, at the end of Q1, we'll be shipping commercial units. We're already basically the order books are full till the end of Q1 already.
You talk about gravure quality. How much success are you having in converting gravure to Flexo printing with the NX system?
This is one of the key targets, and since the introduction of the DigiCap NX, this has been accelerating significantly. Flexo has always had trouble matching the densities of gravure, and it was always a reason to not change from Flexo to gravure, or people were going back from Flexo to gravure. What we see now is companies targeting the gravure industry, growing the business quickly. We have, particularly outside North America, where there's not so much gravure, we see a lot of companies growing the business by taking gravure jobs or taking the quality of gravure and applying them to Flexo. So we're seeing significant growth in South America, Eastern Europe, and Asia. But I'm also seeing companies like TriSoft in California looking to develop the business and help its printers and its customers, like Sunshine Plastics, where they specifically target the growth of the Flexo industry by bringing gravure work back from Asia into the United States. So instead of producing it in Asia and shipping it to the States, they're producing high-quality Flexo at 200 or 240 lines per inch to allow the Flexo industry to challenge and bring that work back. So it's starting to reverse the offshoring work as well. So I see a great opportunity. There's not a lot of gravure in North America, but there's a lot of opportunity to pull gravure work back to North America to grow the North American printing industry.
Several questions came in on the subject of sustainability and environmental issues, so let's just capture this one. In terms of sustainability, how much is the NX plate different than other plate products in the market?
It's significantly different. When we look back at the sustainability studies that have been done, there were key assumptions that all plates perform the same on press. So we would focus as an industry on plate making. The NX system is very different on press, so it doesn't have that same limitation. So what we see going forward is the quality and the capabilities allow the industry to benefit, but the sustainability benefits really come from using less plates. If you can use less plates, then it has a much bigger effect than the plate making process overall. If I reduce from 8 plates to 6 plates and take out the 25% of the plate, I've also reduced the plate processing, but it's a bigger effect than the overall plate processing itself. But the real prize in sustainability is on the press. If I can reduce the substrate waste, I can reduce the material waste, then that really does give me the benefit on the sustainability and also adds to the bottom line. And that's very important for a lot of people with sustainability goals, that it also helps the business grow and helps it survive and get stronger.
Label Expo in the United States is next week. What products and equipment will you be showing in your booth?
We will have the Prinergy Power Pack system. We will have the NX system, so we'll have the imager, the TIFF front end, the laminator. We will have experts on the portal products, so we'll be able to show those. And we'll also have some samples for the other Flexor products that we offer, the analog and the direct. So we'll cover a lot of different information in the booth.
All right, very good. Okay, here's a few last-minute questions that I didn't have a chance to get on those slides, so let me just go ahead and drag those in if I could. Any difference in performance between the fresh plate and the used plate?
We have a lot of users reusing the plates, and we haven't. I travel all the time. I've never had a report of a difference in performance between a fresh plate and a used plate. The plates, when we're seeing the plates used, we see very common comments that they clean up very easily, they come back to color very easily. So not seeing a difference between the first time a plate is used and the second and the 10th. And we have some users way beyond 10 uses of a plate. So it's something that we see very regularly. As an example, we have the label industry when they're trying to matching the digital print. The reuse of the Flexo plate is critical because then you can run shorter runs in Flexo and get the profitability and the reduced inventory levels that people are looking for and compete directly with digital on that front as well.
Wow, that's really great. All right, let's see. A couple questions came in on the subject of ink usage. How do you reduce the ink costs and make ready by 25%?
Well, one of the ways you reduce the ink costs is by reducing the amount of ink that you use. Very simple way of doing that is if you are taking out the extra separations, if you're no longer separating as 2 blacks and you go to 1 black, then you're instantly going to reduce the amount of black ink that you use. You don't have to load the station up. You don't have to make adjustments on an ink, which may mean that it's not reusable anyway. So you've gone down from 8 to 6 or 4 colors, then you're reducing the amount of ink to use that way. Cost on the ink also, because we don't need such highly pigmented inks, that the transfer is much stronger with the densities are higher. So a lot of people cut back on the ink. So the most expensive component of an ink is a pigment. So anytime you can reduce the pigment levels, then you're also going to help the industry with that, but it also helps the flow of the ink. So by optimizing the ink, allowing the ink companies to optimize the ink, and the DigiCap NX producing higher density with a lower ink deposit allows you to reduce those costs in ink. And the 25% I will confirm relates to make ready. I would not claim a 25% reduction in overall ink cost unless you have specific examples.
All right, I think this is the last question I've received so far. If you do have any other questions, please go ahead and chat those in, or we'll just do this one and then we'll be out of here. In the literature, Kodak mentioned Flexcel NX has more latitude. What is that?
Okay. Latitude is referring to the plate impression. When you put pressure on the plate, the latitude explained is, as I put more pressure, how much does the plate change? How much does the dot grow when I increase the pressure? So if I double the pressure, does it double the dot size? Does it change? Because of the dot structure, and instead of being a rounded top dot, where as I put more pressure, the dot grows easily, and the latitude it becomes very sensitive to impression. The flat top dot structure is very much more stable. It does have the same growth. So it gives the operator a wider latitude. So you're not so sensitive to impression. One of the things that often limits the speeds on presses is the fact that as I change speed on a traditional digital plate, the dots will change, the impression will change, the forces will change what's happening. So what you end up then with is changes in the final result. So the bigger the latitude you can give, the more flexibility you get on press, the less problems you have. So latitude is very important, and it's something that Flexo printers like to put too much impression, and by getting a bigger latitude, you reduce that as a problem. You reduce the skill level that is essential for the operators as well.
All right, John, very, very good. I really appreciate you taking the time today, and thank you for the support of our good friends at Kodak on today's program. We will hope to continue to provide such future product updates as well as other industry news. As always, of course, everybody can hopefully subscribe to the Global Flexo e-newsletter. It's a great publication. If not, we encourage you to please do go to the website at flexoglobal.com. And again, thank you everybody for being with us today. We'll let you know about the next program that we might be having. It's really going to be a wonderful program. We're working on it now, but we'll release the details to you as soon as we can. So on behalf of Laura and John, this is Dave Harridan. Thank you very much for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Flexo Global webinar. Take care now. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.